Hi guys, welcome back to our life. As you can see, it has been a while since we played this game. Since I did one Step 3 DLC, a naughty DLC. How long ago was that? A year ago? I don't recall. And then it's been like 2 years or something or more since I've actually just played the proper game. But here we are, we're back. I also got my old camera working since the one I was currently using broke. But I found my old camera and I've set it up so you guys can see all there is to see about my face. And yeah, I'm very excited. This isn't a stream. I know I usually stream this game, but I haven't really been uploading lately, and I know I usually upload. Well, 2 years ago you could say that I usually upload. Not anymore. Not anymore. So I'm just... streaming is just even more work than recording a video, so, you know, I'm sorry this isn't a stream, but, you know, if you want to see our life, me play it, it can't be a stream because I can't stream. I'm a broken person now. But yeah, let's get into it. We're on step 4, the wedding DLC, and it's just been so great to watch Cove grow from a little boy, as we can see on the left, into apparently still a boy. He's 13 on the right, but he has cake on the right. It's huge. I mean, his hair is ugly. That's not my Cove, but I don't know. Someone was just... whoever designed 13-year-old Cove was just too horny, you know? He's just too... sexy. 13-year-old Cove is just... he looks too good. Have y'all seen 13-year-old Derek? I know. Anyway, so... I think we're sticking with hair 1. We have to design our Cove, and hair 1 seems to be it. This one is okay, but it's too messy. This is also sort of messy, but it's... something about it just doesn't seem right to me. And this one definitely not. It's like he's an old man. I don't like it. I don't think he should have glasses. I don't want to be seeing him with glasses every time I look at him. No. No. He can have this earring. That's chill. Well, maybe he should also have the little stud. No. No, he shouldn't. Tattoos... you know, he would get a tattoo. I'm not in love with tattoos, but he would get one, so we'll let him have it. Well, let me see him with his shirt off to make sure I understand what this buff versus slim is. Can I get the shirt off? It doesn't want to come off. I don't... maybe if I change pages? No. No. Alright, we'll choose buff. I think we'll choose buff. You know, I'm not a muscle slut, but... I'm deciding how Cove should look like based on the person that I think he is. Oh, that is ugly. That is an ugly top. Maybe this one. Or maybe just the tank top, honestly. I mean, if he's gonna be so buff, he might as well show it off, right? I don't know, maybe it would make me too insecure. Okay, pants... we could just go for some nice matching pants, kind of. I don't know, he looks old. This outfit makes him look a little old. With those tan or beige pants. Ooh, I don't know about that. Okay, maybe he doesn't need to match with the pants, just black. Black pants is fine. Oh, he does love wearing ugly wristbands and bracelets. Ooh, he loves it. Ooh, and I hate that. Let's see. Oh no. I feel like he should be wearing this, but it would make me cringe to look at it all the time. Okay. Wait, where's necklace 1? I don't see anything. Is it hidden? Okay, it was hidden. You don't need no necklace. You don't need none. Sure. You can put on some sunglasses. I can get down with that. Okay, done. Wait, no, wait. Am I done? I feel like there are more things to select there. Wait, how do I go back? Okay, there. Oh my god, yeah. Renpy is so good. But wait, there were like 4 options to choose before I like clicked on this appearance for Cove. Ah, there, personality. Okay, well, I guess I really don't need to change that, do I? No. I made him studious when I first played this game? That doesn't seem right. Oh, god damn it. I guess I did. Both? Oh, I see, okay. Oh no, did I reset my Cove? Oh god, god damn it, because I keep rolling it back. Because I was afraid I didn't choose something that I should have. But it'll take just a second here for him to get his ugly shit back on. Alright, there we are. Okay, yeah, high initiative. Okay, apparently I have Parkinson's disease or something because I can't stop moving my middle finger on the mouse wheel. I have to be very careful of that, but Cove is going to be high initiative. And so, your days growing up in the loving cradle of Sunset Bird came to an end. In the years that passed since graduation, you'd moved out of your childhood home and made your own way in the world. You... lived with Cove and his fish. Lived with Cove, his fish, and the pet you picked. And the pets you picked. Where's the option where we said we don't need no aquarium in our tiny studio apartment? Oh god, Cove would never like me with my bad attitude. Okay, fine, and the pets you picked. And you worked at a fine company. No. I'm a little studio apartment husband, boyfriend. I'm a little studio apartment boyfriend. That's what I am. Yeah, we don't have the option of being, having Cove do all the working for us. But how about had multiple ways of earning income? Maybe I had a YouTube channel on the side. Who knows? Who knows? God, that is weird. Seeing, like, the mirror behind me. Like, do you see how weird this looks on the camera? The mirror behind me isn't covered up anymore. And, like, you can see my hand in the reflection, and it looks strange. That's not right. Like, that is not right, you know? Whatever. Let's see, in the... I'm not liking this anymore. I don't like this option anymore. I'm going back. My middle finger rolled it back. Honestly, let's just have a business with Cove. I would prefer that. What do we do? What do I do with Cove? You know? Music? Oh, he would like that, I think. What do you... What do we do in the music industry? Are we making music? I think we're gonna be dying. There's no way we're making money doing that. Your family members went through the same kinds of leaps into independence. Liz and Lee both eventually earned degrees and started fantastic careers in new towns. Liz and Lee. Isn't Liz our sister? Who the hell is Lee? Lee. I don't know. Lee. But your mom's and Cove's father still lived on the same street as they had for all those years before. It was comforting to you that there were some things that remained in the old neighborhood. And despite the ever-changing reality of your adult life, your friends were still your friends. Though of course, things weren't exactly the same for them either. Very recently, Terry publicly came out as a man and switched the spelling of his name to use a Y instead of an I. Okay. Wasn't? I feel like Terry was trans in the last thing I played. Maybe not. I guess it can't be if it's saying in step 4 it happened. Why do I vaguely remember it being in step 3? He also confessed his love for Miranda, which she excitedly reciprocated. They moved in together recently in the city, out past Sunset Bird. Derek was as busy as always, but doing well. He always made an effort to keep in touch, and you even saw the other person, or you saw each other in person occasionally. One person who did disappear into the shuffle of memories inside your mind was Baxter. After his vacation in Sunset Bird one year, he was just gone, asshole. That was loss you felt. He had become someone you considered a friend during those days. He better come on back for the wedding. And then there's what became of the sad little boy you grew up with, Cove Holden. Your deep affection for him was something that continued to last unabated over the years. But hopefully you would commit to each other even more someday. You didn't want your relationship to change. Well, this is the wedding DLC. What happens when I say I don't want it to change? Does it say, well, that's the end of your story? And the two of you got engaged. He was your fiance, yeah. The past years are certainly busy. You'll never forget the moment the love you had for one another was let out in the open. Cove and you wore rings to signify your relationship. Cove wore an engagement ring to signify it. Just alone, without... That's kind of weird for him, only him to wear an engagement ring. Or for just me, that's weird. However, you decided against getting rings to signify that as part of your relationship. Honestly, I would do that. I think it's stupid. I'm sorry. It's stupid. He truly thrived in his continued efforts of cultivating loving and supportive relationships with his family and friends. You couldn't say his personality had changed exactly. Instead, it became more refined. Cove was a warm, inviting, considerate man who took the lessons he'd learned over the years to treat the people around him with patience and understanding. When Cove eventually developed a picture of the future he wanted to have as an adult, you could see where he was coming from based on his past interests. He went to college to study marine biology. His ultimate goal was finding environmental consultation jobs on the side while also working at your shared business. Yeah, actually he's really into music. And he volunteered with Orca when his workload allowed it. As an adult, Cove also was able to recognize and have diagnosed that he was on the autism spectrum. It was something that hadn't been noticed by his doctors as a child. Oh, honey, I noticed it. But he was still the same Cove he always was to you. And he was just glad to understand himself better. What an L. Just kidding. Not serious. It thrilled you to see how happy and successful he'd grown up to be. On the whole, life continued steady, beat forward, and you all went with it down the paths you chose. It was strange and wonderful. But no matter how old you got, how far you roamed, or how long you were away, the home you had in Sunset Bird still called you back eventually. The car rumbled down the highway. You had started to zone out when a truck in the left lane loudly zoomed past. Your driver didn't remark on it. Just like anything else this trip, you went back to staring out the window, letting the scenery pass you by. You did appreciate the spacious backseat of your ride. You hadn't known exactly when you'd be coming in, so you had decided to use a ride app rather than ask your moms to pick you up. It had turned out to be a convenient choice. You looked forward to surprising your parents at the door. You smiled at the thought of their faces lighting up. Luckily, this hadn't been that big of a trip for you. You lived close enough that the travel hadn't turned into a big production. However, that didn't make the occasion mundane. For once, your moms had decided to have a modest celebration dinner for their anniversary. Unlike when you were growing up and they preferred not to make a big deal out of it, this year they were comfortable having a party. As time went on, they had found being the center of attention easier to handle. You were happy to see it. With this going on, there was no way that either you or Liz would miss your mom's anniversary. Both of you made plans to come back home for it. You didn't hear from Liz about her exact schedule, but you hadn't shared yours either. It reminded you of when you were kids and both knew to show up for dinner, but didn't keep each other in the loop for each other's pre-dinner plans. This was the same concept after all. Some things stayed the same, and yet it was definitely different from when you would see your sister every day and knew sort of what she was doing. Anyways, from osmosis, today you had no idea. Things were always changing. You mused on how at times it was hard to believe that you didn't live with your parents anymore, and yet you also couldn't imagine going back and living as a kid under their rules. The rest of the drive flew by. Your silent driver provided a smooth ride. No sharp turns or hard stops jostled you out of your own head. Your thoughts turned from introspective to observant. The landscape passing by became more and more familiar. You frequently recognized the landmarks that dotted the area. A grin came to your face as you passed the now entering sign for Sunset Bird. Excitement built within you. You were really here. You were doing this, but where's Cove? Your driver turned off on a street, and you realized that their map program was taking you the way home that Ma preferred. You usually would have used the other side street to pass by the beach. In no time at all, the car had gone through the whole of town and pulled in front of your mom's condo. The car slowed to a stop and parked. With the buzz of the highway gone, you realized that you could hear the familiar sound of waves. The air smelled like salt and a rush of childhood memories flooded back. You started to gather your things and humming to yourself once more about how happy your moms would be to see you. After that, you'd notify everyone else that you'd made the trip safely. You pulled over your suitcase from the other seat and yanked at your bag from down near your feet. Tap, tap. You startled at the sudden sound of tapping on glass. It caused you to pause. Did you really hear what you thought you did? You weren't entirely sure because you soon heard something else, the window on the opposite side of the car rolling down. It confused you until you put it together, that despite the driver's silence, you weren't actually alone in this car. What? The driver must have pressed the button. Someone had to be there. You turned your head to face the now open window. Oh God, yes. Oh Lord. Oh Lordy Lord. Oh Lord. Lord, Lord, Lord. Lord, 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 Lord. Oh my. Oh my. Look at him. Look at him squinting his eyes at me. Like he's like, is that you? Is that you, Joseph? It is. It is me. Open your eyes. It's me. Oh, I missed him. Oh God, I missed him. Oh, he's made me cry. You know. We have a... God, he looks so good. Oh my God. Doesn't he? I hated the tattoo. I didn't like the tattoo. As I said, I'm not a fan of tattoos. I didn't like it when I picked it out in the character screen, but it's Cove. It's what he would do. And I love it now. You know, I love it now. I love it. Did I check the wrong bracelet? Ugh. Oh my god. Holy shit. Because I had to select that thing like 4 times. I guess I fucked up the last time I selected it. Because I'm a dumbass. I did not want to be looking at that ugly ship wheel bracelet, but I have to. And like I said, I think he would wear it. So maybe it was a blessing in disguise. I don't know. Oh, but he looks good. I was missing his hair he had like as an 18-year-old self, but this is good. This is really nice. It's more adult. I know, finally he's an adult. Like a real adult, not just like barely legal adult. He is a real adult. He's not a little adult, you know. This ain't step 2, this ain't Camp Buddy. Oh god, I kid too much. There he was, leaning his arms across the window, your fiance Cove Holden. He beamed at you with one of his precious open smiles. Yes, it's me. I don't mean to, you know, snap at you, but you are spelling my name wrong. Don't know how you spelled my name wrong since you just said it out loud, but you did it. So, watch yourself. How was I doing Cove's voice? I think I was just giving him a sort of a... What a surprise this is. Did I do that? Girls, I have to go check my old playthrough because I don't know what I was doing. Okay, no, I looked at step 3 and I was just doing like a slightly deeper voice, you know? That's all I think. What a surprise this is. I didn't expect to see you in this neighborhood. He was joking, of course, seeing your expression. He decided to push it further. It's not like I've been waiting for you out here all morning or anything. Cove, I've been the one waiting to see you. Sorry to keep you waiting. Why was he even out here before me? Ugh, I would never part from him for even a second. If he was real. If he was mine. He is mine. He's not real, but he is mine. And if he was real, I would never let him go anywhere without me. Oh god, he would hate me. Oh lord. Oh, he would hate me. Oh god, I'm choking on my own mucus. Yeah, but really, I've been the one waiting to see you. He snorted. Look at him blushing so much. Oh my god. Where do you get that rouge? It's gorgeous. We've both been waiting then. He gripped the top of the car door and pushed half of his torso through the opening. That was enough to make the driver break their silence with a sharp hey. You better watch it. You don't ever raise your voice at Cove, okay? You know what? 0 stars, 0 tip, okay? You're trying to earn a living? Well, maybe you should have thought twice before you disrespected me and Cove. Can you imagine? Like, my character's become a Karen. Oh, that would be good. Cove did not seem to notice and continued climbing in through the window. He pushed one hand down into the middle seat to prop his dangling body up. He used his other hand to caress your cheek as he leaned in as close as he could. I missed you. You scooched across the seats, kissed him on the lips, leaned over, kissed him on the forehead. I mean, where did he get off? Where did Cove get off knocking on a random ass car? Because this is a ride sharing app. This is an Uber. We got an Uber, and you're just knocking on a random Uber because you think you saw me in it. Like, that's a little wild, but could be in any car, you know. But let's see. You leaned over and kissed him on the forehead. Now get his lips on mine. He scooched over across the seat. He enthusiastically reciprocated. The arm holding him wobbled at your touch, and you could feel him smile into your smooch. He was clearly struggling to avoid falling down onto the cushion. You pulled back just a little to get a better view of his face. Don't get out. Okay, now get out of the window, you crazy person. You're so cute. I really should have expected this. You and your windows. What a stupid line. I'll click it. I promise this was unplanned. I know. Still doesn't make a difference. Cove's smile turned awkward as his arms started to bend lower, causing his body to slide downwards with it. He turned his head to the driver. Sorry, I'm always causing trouble in this neighborhood. I don't know, his voice... I'm doing a slightly deep voice, but his... the voice they give him actually sounds much higher. Cove shifted around some more and squirmed back the way he came, but he's a man now, you know? He should have a deeper voice. After you had successfully pushed off the window and landed on the pavement with a thump, you opened your car door. You threaded your arms through the various straps of your bags and climbed out. Cove took a few long strides around the back of the car and quickly met you on your side. Cove stood in front of you, and it struck you that the two of you were back in Sunset Bird, reunited once again on the street, and it feels so good. Jumped into his arms, gave him a friendly punch, ruffled his hair. Oh. Yeah, I'd hit him. Maybe less friendly, more painful. That's kind of what I do sometimes. You gently knocked him on the shoulder. It was a little difficult with your arms full of luggage, but you managed. In return, you got a signature Cove goofy grin. He returned the gesture with a prolonged poke to your collarbone area. Not hard enough to unbalance you, even with all your bags. You were really ecstatic to be around him again, and absolutely thrilled that it was here in this town where you were together. Even if it had only been a short time since you had seen him off, you'd still missed Cove greatly. It somehow felt a lot longer. Given your different schedules and travel availabilities, it worked out better for Cove to head out to Sunset Bird first. He arrived in the evening before, however, and secured the hotel room. There is no universe in which I would ever get onto a plane alone if I didn't have to. There's no universe where I would not prefer to be on it with Cove. There is no. I would call off anything that I had to do. There's no way I'm taking a flight alone. So horrible. So horrible. I hate flying. I mean, I'm scared of flying. I do it sometimes if I have to, but I'm scared of it. And then the boredom. You know, the fear of death gets soon replaced by the extreme boredom up there. I would never fly alone, so... Cove, you fucked up a few times. You spelled my name wrong. You went out without me on the trip, on the plane. So, you're on thin ice. Until now, you've never had to deal with that inconvenience of being in a tourist-heavy area. It was a fight to get a place to stay close by during the heat of the summer vacation season. We can't just stay in our mom's place? Living without him at your place was strange. Oh wait, or is that talking about our actual home? Wherever we live? I have no idea. I'm confused and stupid. Living without him at your place was strange. Cove is basically a part of you at this point. You were glad to feel whole again. Oh, you idly shifted your luggage. God, his eyes are so big. Then it struck you that you were a short one. That you were short one, not a short one. You got out in such a hurry it was left behind. You reached back into the car to pull it out. Cove stood aside as you made a dash for the door. You shouldered the small bag and felt relief that you would be able to brush your teeth tonight. Got everything this time? You stood up straight, everything truly gathered up and out of the car. You gave the back seat one last glance and then nodded. Cove shut the car door after you'd moved out of the way. The two of you stepped off the street to give the driver some room. Cove waved to the driver? Sorry again. The driver said nothing and drove off. With the road clear, you let your gaze drift across the neighborhood that you had known forever. It was such a small place to spend so many days. You were flooded with memories of going up and down this street during every stage of your life. Being a little kid, following your big sister to the playground, becoming a teen. Oh, the sexy years of being a teen. Oh my. And staying out later. Oh god, we were doing things when we were out later, weren't we? And growing into an adult who left their parents' house behind to be independent. You could feel the summer sun on your skin from all the times you headed out to the beach. You saw the same surroundings that you as a young adult did when leaving home. It was hard to quantify the amount of history you had here. And now you are back. Despite taking in the neighborhood again, you never lost awareness of Cove's presence. From the corner of your eye, seeing him there was a very familiar sight as well. So many of your memories included him. Your mind drifted from the neighborhood itself to the person who used to live there. You couldn't help the feeling of nostalgia. You still remembered his face, his voice, the scar on his arm from the days long gone. He had changed so much since you had first met him, yet even with those changes, he was always recognizable. He was familiar like the sky was, and the way that you knew the sea. Every day they may appear different, but they're still an inextricable part of life. It was the world. With help from Mr. Holden and his ill-thought $20 bill that brought you together. To begin with, but the two of you had chosen each other. You had never let your interactions fade. You had decided to nurture your relationship into what it was. And you would continue to keep Cove close into all of the rest of your adult years. He was the love of your life, your wonderful fiance. The day when you would be officially married couldn't come soon enough. He was the one you wanted to keep spending your year after year with, as you'd done for the years before this. It would be impossible to imagine life without him. Cove noticed you staring at him after a while and smiled with his eyebrows rising in curiosity. He was very transparent in his question if there was something you wanted to say. You shook your head and returned him a soft expression. You'd let yourself get carried away in a tide of memories, but now it was time to focus on the present. No time like now. Let's go see my mom's. Cove nodded, then pointed at all your luggage bundled around your legs. Can I help you with any of that? In real life, I kind of just like deal with my own luggage. My boyfriend's like, let me help you, and I'm like, fuck off. But my boyfriend in real life is weak. That's why I say fuck off, now that I think about it. Now that I like try to remember why I'm never let him carry any luggage. He's so weak. Cove is strong, so he can actually have all of it. Yeah, you can help with all of it, bitch. If my boyfriend was strong, I'd be telling him to carry all the luggage, you know? Fine, I should have seen that coming. He held out his arms with a smirk and didn't protest as you loaded him up as your luggage carrier. He looked a little silly covered in your bags, but stood proud regardless. The bag situation resolved, the two of you strolled over to the Tsubasa residence store. Not the Tsubasa residence, god, that's so stupid. Why did I call it that? You started to pat your pockets instinctively, only to realize that you no longer carried a key to the house. Your eyes scanned the entryway, a little lost, only to spy the doorbell. The thought of having to ring it felt super weird. As you pressed the inconveniently placed button on the side wall, you remember that no matter how much this place would always be a home to you, it wasn't where you lived. Being back here was like putting on a uniform after you quit the store where it came from. It had remained the same, but your circumstances had changed. Cove shifted on his feet awkwardly, obviously also thrown about you being stuck out here keyless. You heard muffled voices and shuffling from inside. Your heartbeat sped up in anticipation. I wonder how old my vampire moms have gotten, you know? The door swung open, and there was your mom's smiling face. She immediately brightened at seeing you standing there. Is she older than she was in the last step? I can't tell. I don't fully remember. I think she might be. She's aged a little. She stopped drinking the blood of innocence at night, you know? She stopped when I was like 18, and it's been a little downhill since. Okay, for her I was doing a more high-pitched female voice, I think. Well, well, well. Mom twisted her head back and gave a shout down the hall. Lonnie, guess who's here? There were more distant noises, no doubt. Ma getting up from wherever she was to come see. Her high-spirited words rang out clearly. I hope it's... Oh no, wait, that's the other mom. I'm sorry. What is this mom's name? Mom and Ma is just too confusing. It confuses me. Anyway. I hope it's one of my children. Mom snickered, still holding the door only half open to hide you for a little longer. Cove flushed as if suddenly realizing that he's going to be present for your mom's enthusiastic welcoming of you. He smiled to reassure him that he wasn't intruding. Ma finally reached the door and peered over Mom's shoulder. It is. Hello, Joseph. She gave you a once-over, patting the tops of your shoulders and moving down the sides of your arms before she nodded in satisfaction that you were in one piece.
How sweet.
She is looking a little bit better than the other mom, you know? Ma is looking better than Mom. It's... black don't crack, you know? What can you say? Although, I mean, she's just dark-skinned. I don't know what race she is. I don't know if she's black, but... This is a wonderful surprise. Ma inclined her head to Cove next, not leaving him out either. Hello, sweetie. You count as one of my kids at this point anyways. I've doubled the surprise today. Yeah. You grinned at your parents and laughed. You missed their presence so much. Cove bashfully waved at them. He hadn't relaxed fully, but he had settled down at their welcome. Well, don't just... Wait, no. Well, don't just stand out there. Come on in. Your mom moved aside and held the door open for you, gesturing for you to enter. Honestly, maybe now that they're old, I should have given them, like, an old woman voice. Or an old person voice. You stepped into the living room. It was comfortable and cool. Cove was half a step behind you, his eyes on a new painting your moms must have added since the last time you were here. Things are mostly the same, but there were more decorations since you had last seen the house. Mom may have gotten the urge for some interior designing again. It struck you how odd it was to be the guest and only observing their choices, with a living space here rather than a full-time occupant. Ma came up in front of you, excitement in her eyes. I'm so glad you're here.
That's fine.
You know your mom and I would have been happy to pick you up, but you're self-sufficient and responsible. That's okay. What matters is that you arrived safely. Okay, maybe for her I'll do the old voice. I'll try it out just for a second. Mom appeared at her side with a nod. Welcome back, kiddos! Wait, I'm not satisfied with that old voice. Welcome back, kiddos! Oh, I used to do an old voice. I remember doing that in... What was that one game called? I was like a magical... I was an assistant for like a mage or something? And there were 3 demons? My magical demon lover? I think I did an old voice there. I don't know. That was so long ago. I feel like I was good at it back then. My old voice needs some work. You appreciated that your parents respected you as an adult, even if mom still called you kiddo. You figured out long ago that you'd always be her kiddo no matter how grown you became. It was part of the whole parent-child deal with her. You hugged your moms, you grinned, you took your mom's hands, you gave them a thumbs up. We can hug them. You took another step forward and pulled Mom and Ma into a great big hug, squeezing them tight. Their arms wrapped around you in return, and you could feel their love for you in their embrace. How about... I wanted to surprise you. Ah, well, you succeeded. Your timing was lovely. It's always nice when I'm able to come by. Your mom's giggled, pleased. So, how's it been? I hope you've been good. Getting enough excitement and all that? Speaking of exciting things, your anniversary dinner. Is everything all set for that? We're happy to help if there's something we can do. We've been plenty fine. It's been a little... I can't do the old voice for her. I'm just gonna do a regular voice. We've been plenty fine. It's been a little quiet, but that's not a bad thing. Mom placed her arm around Ma's shoulder and gave her a side hug.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about the party. We're just planning to eat at the Cypress. Nothing fancy. Which is kind of a funny thing to say about a pretty fancy country club. The biggest issue has just been making sure everyone can make it for the day. Speaking of which, Liz will be arriving tonight. We're planning on picking her up later. I guess Liz isn't as grown up as Joseph. Mom snickered at her own joke, and Ma lightly elbowed her with a barely hidden grin.
Josh.
As I was saying, we could drop you off wherever you're staying, if you don't mind waiting for that. Like, why am I not just staying here? I know there's another room up there. You're not, like, renting it out, are you renting it out? Have you become landlords since I last knew you? Have things changed that much around here? Let me go upstairs. I'm not paying for a hotel. That's insane. That's literally... I would never. Imagine if you come back to stay at your parents' house, your childhood home, and they were like, you can't stay here. Well, I'm not coming back. Anyway. I'm sorry there's not space for you in the house. It's gotten crowded in those old rooms since you and Liz moved out. I don't know where all this stuff keeps coming from. Stop hoarding, Mom. Sure you don't, Pamela. It's okay. Cove already has a hotel room. I'm gonna be staying in anyway. Cove sent you some pictures of the place when he arrived. Stylish and roomy. It seemed very nice. It was a double room. Why would we need 2 beds? It was a room with a single king bed. He'd claimed that the bed was comfortable, so he had high hopes about that. Though mostly... a king bed? I feel like I've never... Like, no hotel I've been to... Why did I scroll back like that? I'm just looking that it says king bed. Any hotel I've been to, it's always been a queen-size bed. Or more accurately, it's been like 2 twin-size beds that they just sort of push together and then put a queen-size bed sheet over it. And then it always starts sliding apart. Oh my god, I hate it. I don't think I've slept on a king-size bed in a hotel, even in nice hotels, honestly. I also remember, even in a nice hotel, a supposedly 5-star hotel, and it was 2 twin beds that were just, you know, pushed together. Insane. I guess I have to get, like, the penthouse if I want a real king bed. He'd claimed... I already read that. Your mom smiled, relieved. Kyra's already here, isn't she? Who the hell is Kyra? She directed her question at Cove. Oh, Cove's mom. He bobbed his head a bit to go along with his reply. Yeah, I heard she'd made it. She's gonna be staying with Dad while she's in town.
Oh.
Have you gone over and said hello yet? Cove chuckled self-consciously, and this time he shook his head. You raised an eyebrow, since you had figured he would have taken the chance while waiting for you. Not yet. I should go do that now. I just wanted Joseph to be there too. He caught your eyes with an adoring smile. Oh my god, waiting for me to do everything? I love that. Mom laughed at that, no doubt thinking Cove was sweet but ridiculous.
Nice.
It's nice to know your priorities. Yeah. Cove awkwardly rubbed his arm and shifted on his feet, looking all too much like he did as a kid.
So?
Joseph, do you want to go over to my house now? That's a good idea. We won't be leaving until late evening. Yeah, let's go for it. Cove perked back up, excited once more. We'll keep an eye on your things. While you're out, there's no reason to be carrying all that around. You set down your bags in the living room, tucked into a corner where they wouldn't be in the way. Cove helped. Your moms waved the two of you off as you walked back to the entrance way. Thanks, see you soon. You waved back and opened the front door for Cove. With that, you were on your way to see Cove's family next. This trip put a special little pep in Cove's steps as you crossed the street to his dad's house together. Your spirits were equally high. Doing this, you felt like a teen again. You'd known Cove's parents for a long time now, when it came to what you called his dad. You still stuck with the familiar classic Mr. Holden. You switched back to calling him Cove's dad. You're on a first-name basis with Cliff. You've been waiting for the right time to call him dad. You felt that could be now. Ugh, fine, I'll be like, hello, daddy. I've always wanted to call you that. For his mom, you were still on a first-name basis. You called her Mom 3. You've been waiting for the right time to call her Mom. I'll call her Kyra. She always preferred that, even when you were still just a kid. Honestly, you couldn't imagine calling her anything else. Hi, Kyra. Hello, Daddy. Cove hopped up to the front door and didn't bother knocking. He twisted the knob and swung it open. With a grin, Cove gave you a gratified thumbs up. You shook your head in disapproval, but you both knew that you hypocritically supported his behavior. Your dad is lucky we aren't criminals. He brushed your comment aside and went right into his old home. Cliff was there, standing in his kitchen and babysitting a pan on the stove. Oh god, he's still looking pretty young, isn't he? I guess he must have had Cove really young too, right? Because he is not... like, he is outliving the vampires. His head turned at the sound of footsteps, and he brightened instantly at the sight of you both. Cove matched his enthusiasm instantly. If it was anyone else, you would have thought he was lighting up with a childlike joy over seeing his dad again. Oh, and he's shorter now. Or at least, Cove is taller now than his dad. But since you knew what Cove was actually like as a kid, you were aware that this level of happiness with Cliff was definitely not equivalent to any of his childhood feelings. Dad. What was I doing for him? Ooh, this is why I should not take such gigantic breaks of multiple years before finishing a game. I mean, at the time, the DLC wasn't out yet. But then it came out probably, I think, just a couple months after, and then years happened, but... what was I doing? Cove! Was I doing that? Cliff gracefully pushed away what he was cooking to a different burner and flipped off the heat. He rushed over to you both. Cove flew forward and met him halfway in a hug. Cove squished his eyes shut and held his dad in a tight hug. Cliff soothingly rubbed his son's back. The more of an adult Cove became, the more he turned into a big daddy's boy, it seemed. I missed you. I missed you too. It was sweet and teasing. And teasing aside, it was wonderful to see them at this place in their relationship after years of struggling to connect. When the hug broke, Cliff hooked an arm around his son's neck. He let out a deep laugh. I still can't believe you outgrew me. I really thought that I had that on him after he graduated from high school, but then he had to keep going. Chuckling, he shook his fist in mock anger. Cove ducked his head and laughed in kind. Sorry, Dad. Cove's cheeks turned pink and he averted his eyes. He was becoming bashful, so you knew he had more he wanted to say. Cove softly added, but I was raised really well. His dad's expression instantly crumbled with emotion. He sniffled. Cove put an arm around him too and tugged him into a side hug. Gay. You absorbed their little reunion fondly, happy to let them enjoy their moment. They were a perfect pair of sentimentality. Cliff eventually turned his attention to you. Hi, Joseph. So great to see you. He pulled away from Cove and approached you with a little wave. He was back to his cheery self. No, come on, Daddy. Not Dad, Daddy. Fine, I missed you, Dad. I hugged him, groped him, came around the side, grabbed those cheeks. You went to him with your arms extended and he immediately pulled you into a big hug. He smelled like spices from the kitchen and the sunscreen he used to slather Cove in as a kid. Sighing happily, you momentarily felt at home, but you noticed that his whole body was rigid. He had noticed what you called him. Then a loud gasp escaped Cliff. You glanced over at Cove for his reaction. He grinned sweetly with misted eyes. Dad? Of course, it's not a problem, right? Who else would you be? Cliff placed his hands on your shoulders. The sudden weight of them jolted you away from your thoughts.
So glad.
That's absolutely okay. It's more than okay. Overwhelmed with emotion, his voice squeaked at first, but he barely noticed. He was beaming with joy. I would love to be your dad. Let's see. Who knew you'd be getting a new kid out of the deal? You teared up. Finally, calling you family is no longer a joke. Cliff's head flew back with another laughter fest at that. The blush in Cove's cheeks seemed pinker, but the way his mouth curved into a bent smile made your heart leap. You'll have to find a new comedy routine. Yeah, but I'd rather have this than be funny. Same here, Sports. Thanks, Dad. Grinning, Cliff reached out and shook Cove's forearm. Cove didn't move, but he did watch him completely baffled. Did you hear that, bud? I'm Dad now. Cove snorted, unable to stop himself from teasing his father just a little. God, my asshole is itching right now. I don't know why. It just, oh. You were a dad. Already were a dad. True, but now I get to instill my dad wisdom in more than just your noggin. Giddy, you couldn't be happier with your decision. You knew the two men in front of you were part of your important family. Cliff cleared his throat, pulling attention to himself. He crossed his arms. But before we get carried away, it's not a real reunion yet. Kyra's still in the guest suite. I'll go get her. He eagerly bolted down the hall, and you could hear every step he took. It ended with a distant knock. Kyra, they're here. It was only seconds before there was the sound of a door being yanked open. The pounding of feet hitting the wood floor grew even louder this time.
My baby.
Next to you, Cove let out a nervous laugh. His parents entered the living room, and Kyra stretched her arms out wide when she spotted you both. Cove went over to her easily. That's kind of like a beautiful little cardigan? It's not really a cardigan, it doesn't have buttons, but it's beautiful, whatever it is. Sweater of some sort. You went in for the hug too, you opened your arms, you raised your arms up to pass. I'll come in, I'll join. She held you both tightly in her arms, and you squeezed her back with nearly the same intensity. You felt loved. Cove wrapped his free arm around her too. He rested his head on top of hers and let out a happy sigh. After a moment, Kyra let go and pulled back to get a better look at your faces. She surveyed every inch of them and appeared satisfied. You know, I cannot recall what I was doing for her voice. I have no idea how I was differentiating it from Mom's voice. But maybe we just won't. We just have to accept I have 1.5 female voices. You're both looking well. That's wonderful, and just what I like to see. Maybe I'll go back to my previous video at another time. And look at what I was doing for every voice.
Thanks.
After this video, I mean. I'll look. Anyway. Thanks, and hi, Mom. Thanks, Kyra. You look great, too. You look great, too, Kyra. She does. They both do. One day soon, I'll let you in on my secrets. Kyra winked, and you had zero doubts that she held precious knowledge to looking your best. She was stunning every time you saw her. I'd be honored. Your gaze bounced back and forth between Cove's parents and their happy chatter. A wave of relief settled your nerves. They both seemed to respect your choices and how you wanted to address them. You were so glad there weren't any issues. So, you put your hands on your hips, your gaze sliding from one to the other. How have you both been doing since I last saw you? Any good stories? Kyra gave a nod for Cliff to go first. Cheerfully, he waved a hand.
No worries.
Oh, same old, same old. Still got the shops, still got my friends and family, of course, and still the most exciting thing around here is seeing who will rent that one free condo. Incredible. I always knew you were such a snore. They snickered and you couldn't help but peek at Cove. He rolled his eyes dramatically, drawing out a few giggles from both of you. But the whole time, there was still a happy smile fixed on his face. For me, things have been good. I've gotten a lot of interesting assignments lately. Oh, I recently went to Seattle and... Kyra twirled a strand of her hair shyly, and her mouth curved into a grin. Whatever she was thinking about, it made her happy. Ooh, she found good dick in Seattle. Things have still been going well with that guy from work, but it's a little early to bring him all the way out to California to meet the family. Cove crossed his arms. He and his dad nodded. It was clear she appreciated the acceptance from her two boys. Let's see. I hope he gets a seal of approval. You silently nodded. I'm happy for you. You were honestly glad that things were going well for her. She was clearly grateful for your approval as well. So that's us. Do you two have any plans for your first day back? The only thing I have to do is pick Liz up later tonight before we head back to our hotel room.
You're great.
He suddenly looked over his shoulder, his eyebrows pushed together. I'm glad you're here, but I just remembered that I was in the middle of cooking something. Only a small cackle escaped you while you fought off the giant grin taking over your face. Meanwhile, Cove erupted into laughter that had his dad shaking his head. That's fine, Dad. Go salvage what you can. I think it'd be nice to explore the old neighborhood for a while anyway, since we've got the time. Cove directed the last part to you as he spoke, hoping that you'd want to go with him. You nodded automatically. You were already looking forward to it. That's a perfect idea. I think so too. You should go enjoy the day. I'll hang back here so I won't be a third wheel, and someone's got to keep an eye out on Cliff before he catches the whole kitchen on fire. Mom, you're not a third wheel. Cove stiffly stuck his arms against his side like a little child. A small smirk tugged at Kyra's mouth. She winked. You know what I mean. Have a good walk. I'll see you both later. Cheerfully, Cliff waved before going back to his cooking. Cove smiled warmly. Okay, bye. We'll be back. Bye. Okay, guys, I'm going to end this episode here before we hit the 1 hour mark. That's just a little too much. We don't want to be past an hour. But I thank you all for watching. I hope you're so excited to experience our life again. Hope you're excited to get married to Cove alongside me. Hope you're excited to see my beautiful face again. I'm glowing, aren't I? Not really. I have so many zits that you cannot see, thankfully, due to the camera quality. I think you can't see them. But, bye guys.